What's up, nerds? Nerds! Goz Master here with another Magic the Gathering puzzle quest. Today's quest, Crimson Vow. The new set has gotten spoilers from Magic Puzzle Quest on Facebook. We're going to be going through the Mythics and Masterpieces today with a couple of spotlights of really powerful rare cards. And I'm also going to be giving away five Midnight Hunt packs today in a contest prize. So, throughout the course of this, I'm going to be giving hints on what you can do and how to actually qualify for a contest prize. It's going to involve a comment. I'm going to use the randomizer. We're going to keep it very simple. I got 3 color packs. I think it's black, green, and white, I think are what I still have left. But then I also have 2 very special packs that I will be talking about how to qualify for those. So I got 3 regular packs from Midnight Hunt and then 2 special packs that I will be giving away during this. You'll have to comment below, so stay tuned for that. As always, I welcome you to invite you to join our Discord. We have an awesome conversation going on about these cards right now, so if you want to get in there and hear my thoughts throughout the course of the day randomly, it's a great place to jump in. There's a link in the description below. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. We are going to start off with the card that I think is the most powerful card in the set. Hands down, no questions about it. Alchemist's Gambit, 4 mana. With a 6, cleave mana deal. So the way cleave works is you have your regular mana cost, which is 4. So you pay 4, you get the first line or first chunk of text. If you pay the cleave cost or another 6 mana, it's like stored mana, but it's cleave mana. It's a little different. Cleave cards cannot have their mana raised or drained. So that's kind of cool. So they're not, affectable. But in red spell card, gain an extra swap. Your creatures gain double strike and trample until end of turn. Your opponent's creatures are reinforced. So used to be there was a card, I forget what it was, like Glory or something like that, or Infamy or something like that. Essentially what happened was it did all of these things. You got double strike, you got trample. I think it was prevent damage as well. But then you took a bunch of damage, big chunk. Here the downside is their creatures are reinforced. Well, here's the deal. 2 things. If I pay the cleave cost, so for 10 mana... instead, what I can do is I can gain an extra swap. Your creatures gain double strike and trample, and they don't get reinforced. Or for 4 mana, which is the way I'm going to be playing it, I have removal in my deck. So I'm just going to remove their creatures or disable their creature so it's not a factor, and that'll be the end of it. And this card is absolutely going to get broken. I cannot wait to play with this card. And it's a rare. This is a rare. Guys, you said this was going to be a masterpiece in Mythics. But yeah, I know. This is a masterpiece power card in a rare shell. Thanks, Oktagon. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get into the rest of the cards. All right, Cemetery Desecrator. So there's a chunk of these. There's one from each color that basically does stuff with things in exile. Very powerful, very cool. 10 mana, 4/4 black zombie. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick up to 4 of the first 4 cards in your opponent's graveyard. Exile those cards. So whatever they've got in there. They got 1, you can take 1. They got 4, you can take up to 4. They got 30, you can take up to 4. So when a creature you control dies, target opposing creature gets -X until end of turn. X is the number of cards in your opponent's exile. So when a creature you control dies, not when any creature dies, it's your creatures. Target opposing creature gets -X until end of turn. X is the number of cards in your opponent's exile. That's okay. I would rather this were worded so that it was if you lose a reinforcement as well. So it's kind of okay. But you want to get cards in exile. So I want to read this top part again. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick up to 4 of the first 4 cards of your opponent's graveyard, exile those cards. So they go into their exile. Cemetery Gatekeeper. They get a little more powerful as you go on. 8 mana for a 2/1 red vampire. When this creature enters the battlefield, pick up to 4, yada yada, exile those cards, same as before. At the beginning of combat on your turn, deal X damage to your opponent's planeswalker. X is the number of cards in your opponent's exile. This is a little more powerful. This is very reminiscent of the legacy card. That is, when it hits the board, I'm probably flashing it on the screen now, but it's a card that the more cards they have in their exile or in their graveyard, really, the more damage they take. This does that. The challenge is he's a 2/1, so he's easily removed. Any kind of 1 dingy damage will take this guy out. So you want to get him reinforced, get him up to at least 3 or 4 power so he's not getting whacked off the board, but I think that's pretty cool. Cemetery Illuminator, 8 mana for a 2/3 bigger body for blue spirit. When this creature, yada yada, same thing. At the beginning of your turn, pick 1 of the first 4 cards from your library. Fetch that card, it gains X mana. X is the number of cards of your opponent's exile. This is dope. I like this one a lot. So the more we exile from them, this would work well with, I don't know who does exile. I was thinking Kaya, but she's not going to, she doesn't have blue. So this will be very interesting to see how this works, but I'm all about getting them to exile cards and getting free mana into it. I like this one so far the best. Then we have the white one, which is Cemetery Protector, 9 mana, Human Soldier. When this creature enters battlefield, yada, yada, yada. When you cast a card, any card, create X human tokens. X is the number of cards in your opponent's exile. So there are human leaders out there, and this would just fuel those very, very quickly. So if we get into I don't know which deck would have white outside of Legacy, that would be, I guess Tamio could do it with like Wizard class and stuff. We could start casting any kind of card. There's no limit to this. We can create a mountain of white human tokens. I think this can be very breakable. And it's a 3/4 body for 9 mana. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. All right, Cemetery Prowler, 9 mana for a 3/4. Again, another one that's really good. Creature wolf, when this creature, yada, yada. When you draw your first card each turn, the last card in your hand gains X mana. X is the number of cards in your opponent's exile. That's okay. Not near as good as the blue one, in my opinion. When you draw, is that the same thing? The beginning of your turn, pick one of the first. No, nowhere near as good as the blue one. Green's okay. That one's okay. Really, that white one's probably the most powerful. I think it's the most breakable. The blue one's second best. This one's third. And then the black and the white. Or the black and the whatever the other one was. All right. Cultivator Colossus. 17 mana. Ooh, for a 1/1. Sold. I'm in. Let's do it. Trample. It's a beast. Pay attention. Plant beast. When this creature enters the battlefield, this creature gets +X/+X. Pick one of the first 4 cards from your library. If this is a land card, move that card into play under your control. Draw a card. If that is a land card, it gains full mana. X is the number of green gems. When you convert a gem to green, this creature gets +1/+1. There's no limit to that. I will be running this in Ren and 7. So let's go through that again. So when this creature enters the battlefield, this creature gets +X/+X. So X is the number of green gems. There's no limit to that. So if we have 20 on the board, it becomes a 20/20. So it's not a 1/1, it's 17 for this. And this is an enters the battlefield, not a cast. This is a stupid powerful card. I cannot wait to play with this. This is great. And then again, additionally, pick one of the first 4 cards from your library. If that is a land card, move that card into play under your control. So we get the 5 mana from the Midland or the Midnight Hunt lands. Move that card into play under your control. Draw a card. If that is a land card, it gains full mana. That hits the board. That gives you another 5 mana. In addition to that, so that's a total of 10 mana for this guy hitting the board. He is going to wreck mono green. He's going to wreck Ren and 7. He's going to wreck Nissa Worldwaker even, but man, Ren and 7 is going to be so much better because of this. Oh my god. I love this card. I think so far this is the best creature that I've seen until this second. So here we go. Curse of Oblivion, 19 mana support card, enchantment or a curse. At the beginning of your opponent's turn, exile the first 2 cards with Buried from your opponent's graveyard. Not everybody's playing Buried, Oktagon. If you can't, your opponent loses 13 life. So for 19 mana, really, you're talking about Mox Jet, getting this on the board for free. Your opponent is most likely taking 13 points of damage every beginning of their turn. They're taking 13 points of damage. That's pretty chunky. That's significant. It'd be interesting to see support tribal to get a bunch of supports on the board. I don't know. Is this a chase card? I don't know. But that seems interesting. We'll have to see. Actually, no, it's only a one-time event. Edgar Markov, 13 mana, creature vampire, haste, first strike, 4/4, 3 colors. I love it. Good for Karn. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 2 blood tokens. When another vampire creature enters the battlefield, create a blood token. When a blood token loses a shield, create a black vampire knight token. I don't know how big they're going to be. I'm assuming they're going to be 2/1s maybe. When this creature attacks, each creature with vampire subtype gets +1/+1. So this can... It's a little bit slower for ramp, but it should go fairly well. The blood tokens are basically going to be... Oh, I forgot how they're going to work. Let's go take a look at that real quick. Okay, so here we are on Oktagon's deal, and they're talking about blood tokens. Blood tokens, it's a common support artifact token mana field. So it's got mana field. Mana field, this support loses 1 shield. Then if you have 4 or more cards in your hand, discard a card and draw a card. When you destroy the support, your vampire creatures get +1 until end of turn. Not that big a deal. That's really weak, frankly. That's not very powerful at all. So... you get a bunch of blood tokens. You get 2 of them. When another vampire creature enters the battlefield, create a blood token. When a blood token loses a reinforcement, create a black vampire knight. I think that's going to be the strongest synergy there, is you run this in black-red, and you use mana right or whatever it is, the one that gets the red gems that are reinforced or whatever, and then when they plop, they explode around themselves. We'll see. Is it a chase card? Not as of yet. It depends on the strength of the Vampire Knight and how much synergy we can get into it. It looks fun, though. I do like the haste. That's going to be fun. Faithbound Judge. This one, on the other hand, is a beast. 15 mana, prevent damage, level 1, flying defender. Immediately, Rem, Carlos, Stalwart, Slayer. Easy. Easy peasy. This guy goes in that build right away. 4/4 Spirit Soldier. But then we read the text. At the beginning of your turn, if this card's levels 3 or less, increase this card's level by 1. So it levels up every turn. When this card's level becomes 4, this creature loses prevent damage. This creature gains double strike and lifelink. I wonder if that would counteract the prevent damage that it would gain from Rem. We'll have to see. I think it will, because that's the way the God support works. When you make a white match by swap for the first time during your turn, if this card is in your graveyard, create a Sinner's Judgment token, then exile this card. Guardian of Faith. So this guy's in your graveyard. I don't know what the Sinner's Judgment is. I don't even need to know. I just know this goes into my exile, and Guardian of Faith brings it back from exile at the end of my turn. I got him back on the board. So I get the Sinner's Judgment token, whatever that is. I'm assuming it's some type of creature of some type, in addition to this guy being back on the board, killable again, and we now have ourselves a nice little loop with Guardian of Faith. Excellent. I like this quite a bit. I think that's a really powerful chase card. I'm definitely going over that. Do you have a fear of death? If so, call our hotline right now. For 10 mana, a blue 2 shield support card. When the support enters the board, destroy the top 2 cards of your library. Okay. We need to get over that. We need to do, since we have infinite cards in our libraries, Oktagon, we need to do more than 2. Maybe 5 to 10 would probably be significant. While on the board, the first opposing creature gets -X, -O. X is the number of cards in your graveyard. So that's kind of significant, but this is only when the support enters the board, destroy the top 2 cards of your library. It should be something to the effect of consistently doing things to the board, or like every start of the turn, you get more cards that are added to the board, or to your graveyard rather. While on the board, first opposing creature gets -X, -O, this number of cards in your graveyard. And it's only 2 power, so it renders their first creature kind of mute, but it doesn't stop them. So I don't know. We'll see. Is it a chase card? I don't know yet until we see the synergy with some of the other cards that are out there. Griselbrand. What a silly name for a devastating beast. Masterpiece, 14 mana, lifelink. You know I love lifelink. Flying, legendary, 7/7 black demon. When you lose life, draw a card. He's got lifelink for 7/7, so lose life away. At the beginning of your turn, you may lose 7 life. If you do, the first black card in your hand gains full mana. This is a Mox Jet in 7/7 with lifelink form. This is absolutely a stupid chase card. I cannot believe how powerful this is. This with Mox Jet is going to be absolutely broken. Mono black is devastating with this guy on the board. I cannot wait to get him into my hands. Hallowed Haunting, 12 mana for a leveling 4 shield support card that is white. When a support card enters into play under your control, increase this card's level by 1. Tribal Support, I just talked about it a minute ago. While on the board, if this card's level is 6 or more, your creatures gain flying and vigilance. When you cast a card, if that card is a support card, create 4 white spirit tokens. I've got a Guardian of Faith build. I am in the middle of filming right now, but then this came out. I will get it out before the end of the week. You will want to run that shell because it is so stupid powerful. It's very, very powerful, and I'm very excited for it. And I think this here is going to do very well with that build because it's a support card that does what I've been trying to make creatures do. I'm very excited to run this. It's going to be excellent. That is a chase card for me. Henrika Dominant. Let's see what it is. Domnathi. 15 mana, leveling, flippable card, legendary, flying 1/3 vampire. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may draw a card. If you do, you lose 3 life and increase this card's level by 1. It only comes when it comes into the board. At the beginning of combat in your turn, you may destroy a target creature you control. If you do, destroy a random opposing creature, then increase this card's level by 1. At the beginning of your turn, if this card's level is 3 or more, you may transform this card. So where this will work really well is in maybe Lolth deck, a Lolth build using, or like my Gisa Ghoul Caller deck, where we have the zombie tokens as well as the skeletal the shambling skeletons tokens. We can kill those, destroy their creature, and do some shenanigans this way. She may replace Gisa in that build and gets her level up. That's how I would approach building her out. I have her transform on later on down. Let's actually see if we can go find it. Okay, so Henrika Infernal Seer. So this is her flip version, 3/4 vampire. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create creatures you control with flying and death touch or lifelink, get +2/+0 until end of turn. Lame. That's not really powerful at all. And in fact, that's why I didn't have it stored. So I think her front side is good for removal, but it's not a chase card for me. No, we'll have to see maybe some Vampire Tribal. I don't even think then, because you only have 3 creatures. So to waste one of yours to kill one of theirs, there's easy removal. For 15 mana, nah, this is not a chase card at all. The more I think about it, the more I look at it, the less I like it. So no, I would not chase that one. If you pull it, cool, but I don't think I think you master it and then move on. So Hunt Master of the Fells. This is a 9 mana flippable 2/2 human werewolf daybound. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, creates X wolf tokens. Gain X life. X is this creature's power. So you definitely want to Voltron this puppy up. So when it transforms, you get wolf tokens. You have Wolf Leader. If we can get Arlen, the Pack's Hope, to stay on her day side and use Wolf Leader, this will be stupid powerful in that deck. I absolutely am excited to add it. I'm going to try to figure out some shenanigans to break it. The gaining the life is really the key thing. I think it's gaining life lately has been really undervalued in most decks, and I'm actively trying to build that into most of what I do, and it makes a big difference. So I'm very excited about this. And then if you go to the other side of the card, so now you've got Ravager of the Fells, 4/4 creature werewolf, red-green, by the way. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms, deal X damage to each opposing target. Each opposing support loses X shield. X is the number of wolf or werewolf creatures you control, including their reinforcements. Absolutely a chase card. This is going to be a fun card to play with inside of Arlen, and I think that we're going to have a lot of great synergy we're going to be able to break with it. So very excited to play with that one. All right, Jacob Hauken Inspector, or Adam Driver in his spare time. 8 mana for a support card with mana field, legendary with flippable. Support card, Human Advisor, mana field, draw a card. When you exile a card from your hand, the last card in your exile gains the rebirth emblem. I'm assuming there's some token that happens or something happens where we're able to recast it from exile. This effect can trigger only once per turn. When this support is destroyed, transform it instead. This is insane. Hawkins Insight. 2 shield support. At the beginning of your turn, draw a card, exile the last card from your hand. The last card in your exile gains the rebirth emblem. Then pick up to one of the first 4 cards of your exile with the rebirth emblem. That's how it plays. If that card is a non-spell card, move that card into play under your control. Otherwise, fetch that card. It gains full mana. So, Guardian of Faith. I'm going to be throwing stuff out of my hand like crazy. And this guy is going to allow me to be able to go out there and recoup it very, very quickly. I absolutely love this blue-white build. We're talking... Oh man, I can't wait to show you guys my my Guardian of Faith builds. This changes it up though, because this is blue. I might have to run it with Tameo. I think Tameo got another rank uplift. If you guys don't have Tameo, you need to get Tameo. Tameo's amazing. All right, so absolutely the chase card for me. Manaform Hellkite, 12 mana, flying, 4/4 red dragon creature. When you cast a spell or support card, create a dragon illusion token. That's powerful enough as it is. You can start, there's no limit to this. So you run this with a wizard class loop deck. You're just going to build mountains of creatures. But in addition to that, it's 12 mana, so it's easy to cast. You can use it with your cascades and whatnot as you're going through with your wizard loops. But in addition to that, if you can get Tiamat on the board, she has leader for dragon already. So this would help beef her up even further along with it. So this is a really powerful chase card. I think this is going to be a lot of fun and allows for dragon tokens finally. Necro Duality, 17 mana blue shield support card. When a non-token zombie creature enters the battlefield under your control, reinforce that creature X times. X is a support shield. 17 mana to cast is very significant. However, if we can find a way to cheat this out or get it out sooner, sometime in the future when we get the blue Mox, what is it, Sapphire, then what will happen is that this will get out on the board for free, and we can ramp it up and get it up as high as we like. Or we could use, actually I know where we could use this. We could use this with Kasmina, and we could use our third ability, give this stupid amounts of shields, and that way when a creature hits the board, then you get any zombie that hits the board. A blue zombie, though? I don't know. Or a green zombie? We'll have to see. I think you'd have to go in a blue-black, and I don't think Kasmina would be able to work with that. We'll have to see. Is it a chase card? I don't know. That casting cost is prohibitive. Olivia, though. Valderan. 11 mana for Masterpiece, 3/3 flying vampire. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 3 blood tokens. Okay. When a blood token loses a shield, deal 1 damage to target opposing creature. It gains the vampire subtype. Okay, cool. This next part. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, gain control of target opposing vampire. It gains haste and imminent death. If you can't, then you create another blood token. So you're just amassing blood tokens while she's on the board. 3/3 body for an 11 casting is fair, but she's not very big. She's easily removed. However, those other abilities, you know I love stealing your girl. I love stealing your girl. This might give me another way to go steal your girl. I'm very excited for it. Olivia and Crimson Bride, 13 mana, haste, flying, legendary, 3/4, black-red, vampire noble. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, pick one of the first 4 creature cards from your graveyard, return it to the battlefield under your control. Reanimator. We have a lot of things that are throwing creatures into the graveyard. This allows us to go get a creature from our graveyard every start of combat. So very excited for that. That creature gains enchanted at the beginning of your turn. If you don't control a legendary creature with vampire subtype, exile that card. So this one needs to be legendary or a legendary vampire of some type. Olivia, as a masterpiece, I think it's automatically legendary. I'm not sure. Somebody comment below and let me know if that's the case. Savior of Ollenbock. Savior of Ollenbock. 10 mana. Training. 1/2 white human soldier. When this creature trains, exile target opposing creature into your exile. If you can't, exile the first creature card without buried from your graveyard. So when this creature trains, exile target opposing creature into your exile. That's an opposing one into your exile. Very important. If you can't, exile the first creature card without buried from your graveyard. When this creature dies or is exiled from the battlefield, pick up to 4 of the first 4 non-spell cards from your exile. Move those cards onto the play under your owner's control. You already know what I'm going to say. Guardian of Faith. I'm going to take their stuff. Their creatures hit my side. I'm going to go... Wait a minute. When this creature trains, exile target opposing creature into your exile. If you can't, exile it first. So when this creature enters dies... So I can take my supports and exile them too now from my hand. And then I take the first 4 supports from my deal, or my first 4 non-spell permanents, basically, from my exile, and put them on the board. Dude, I'm going to break the tar out of this. Because when this dies, I get to throw it into exile as well, or I can exile it again when I bring out Guardian of Faith. There's going to be some shenanigans going on with this. I'm so excited for that. Somberwald Sage. Somberwald Sage. 5 mana, green human druid. 0/1. Okay, so this is a masterpiece. At the beginning of your turn, convert 5 gems to green. When you match 3 or more green gems, gain 3 life. It's a creature. So my only downside to this is it's a creature. Is this chaseable? I think if you pull this, you're going to play it. It's going to do a lot of stuff. Eventually, when you have enough wins and you have enough good cards, if you're a beginner player or a mid-level player, does it still take a creature slot? Again, we only have 3 creature slots. That's its biggest drawback. So will it stay on the board long enough for us to do anything? I don't know. I just don't know. So we'll see. I want it. I'm going to go play test it. I'll master it. I'll let you know, but I don't know. Soul Herder, on the other hand, ooh, baby. 14 mana for a blue-white 1/1 spirit. When a creature card enters exile, this creature gets +1/+1. Again, who am I playing this with? Guardian of Faith. At the beginning of your turn, you may exile target creature you control. At the end of your turn, if a creature you control was exiled this turn, pick up to 1 of the first 4 cards from your exile, return it to the battlefield under your control. Again, another way to go get permanents from my exile or onto the battlefield along with Guardian of Faith. This is going to have so much ridiculous synergy, and this can be the kill that we may have been looking for with it. It's a 1/1 for 14, but again, we're never paying the casting costs. We're just exiling it from hand. We're letting Guardian bring it back down to the board, and then we're just exiling creatures from our hand into the graveyard or into our exile zone. This might, we may want to do just an all permanent deck, like all supports and all, yeah, that would be interesting. All supports and all creatures with enters battlefields effect. So 2 Guardian of Faith and Soul Herder, and then a 3rd slot that has impact on the board. Very interesting. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Temporal Mastery, 8 mana for a blue spell card. While in your hand at the beginning of your turn, if it's night, this card gains full mana. Otherwise, if it's day, all cards in your hand gain 2 mana. Gain an extra swap if it's either day or night, it becomes day. Why is this blue? Listen, I'm going to take it. I'm going to be swapping it. I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be gaining extra swaps. This is stupid. Wizard class is never going to stop. It's never going to stop. Between this and Alchemists, whatever, we're going to have infinite swaps. This is insane. Here's why I'm frustrated with this card. It's not green, so I can't run it. I can't run it inside of what's-her-face, inside of Arlen, the Pack's Hope. Very frustrating. I want to turn day with her. She's where it matters. Everything else is kind of irrelevant. But this is an awesome card. It's a chase card. I absolutely want it. It's broken. Oh my God, we're getting so many swaps. It's going to be insane. Triumph of Ferocity, 12 mana, support card enchantment. At the beginning of your turn, if you control the creature with the greatest power, draw a card. It gains half of its mana. Otherwise, your creatures get +1/+1. And creatures you control gain trample until end of turn. This is not a masterpiece level card. It's powerful, but I think it's maybe a mythic at most for green, and you need lots of removal. I think it would be interesting. I don't know that it holds a slot in a 10-card deck, though, but it's an interesting card. We'll go from there. Dire Strain Anarchist? Dire Strain Anarchist, yes. So this is the flip side of the other wolf card we were looking at beforehand. 5/5 Werewolf Nightbound. When this creature attacks, deal 4 damage to the first opposing creature. Deal 4 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker, and opposing Vanguard support loses 2 shield. Your opponent loses 5 loyalty. Kind of a control card. It's kind of neat. I like it. We'll see. I don't know if it's a chase card. Oh, here's the other. Volatile Arsonist, 17 mana. When this creature attacks, deal 2 damage to the first opposing creature, 2 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker, and opposing Vanguard support loses 1 shield. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, it's a powerful wolf. Maybe it has room inside of Arlen's deal. We already talked about that. Ludwig's Abomination. This is a flip of one of the other cards that's out there. I didn't put that one in here because I didn't think it was very powerful. However, it's flip side trample, Berserk, and a 13/13 body for a lizard horror. I think it's pretty cool. We've already talked about that. All right. There you are, my friends. The first look at the masterpieces and mythics within Crimson Vow. Absolutely powerful cards. There's at least 7 or 8 really ridiculous powerful chase cards. Guys, swap. Infinite swap. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to face countless loop decks. It's coming, man. So be prepared for that. Just know that you're going to run into that. And that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Contest time. I told you I was going to give away some prizes here. It's very simple. All you have to do is comment, I want to win. I want to win. I want, WANTTOWIN. I want to win in the comments below, okay? And then tell me which card you're most excited about what we featured so far. I want to win in the comments below, and then tell me what card that you want most out of Vow. Good. I'm going to be picking 5 winners from this set. So do it because I want to give these packs away before Vow drops, which should be next Tuesday. So if you're watching this right now, that means that I shot this video today, got this video out today, minimal editing. We're not going to do too much craziness with it, just to get it out so you guys can see what my thoughts are on that. And in addition to that, we're also going to be running the contest prizes, and I want to have the rares looked at hopefully by tomorrow or the day after. So by the end of the week, we should have a full review on all of these out there. In addition to that, shout out to Steve. Steve does a Twitch stream where he goes over the cards. It is the funniest damn thing ever. I love it. It's one of the best things. I always look forward to his reviews. Get so excited. It's one of my favorite things about a new set release, aside from the cards, is Steve's reviews. I can't wait to do a segment with him at some point in the future. Steve, you're the best, man. Even though you ridicule my play style at times, I still appreciate you, my brother. All right. That said, my friends, I want to win. And which card you're looking forward to, and put it in the comments below. As always, my friends, I appreciate you could be anywhere in the world. You chose to spend this time with me here. Until our next quest, vow up. I'll see you guys in the next one.